And we're live. Hi there. Welcome to the final quarterly update of our Tackle That WIP for 2023. And also the first update for 2024. Because this year I will be doing the quarterly updates at the beginning of the quarter for the upcoming quarter so that we can do an overview of the projects that we have going on, and you can do it for yourself at home, of course, and then set some goals or priorities for the upcoming month, upcoming few months, upcoming quarter. Hi there. So let's see if everything's working. Let's see if the chat is working and if the sound is right. I see some people popping in. That is great. Here. Hi, Monica's there. Yay. Oh, you're watching from the train. That is so lovely. On your way back home, I guess. That means a weekend. Yes, for me as well. This is the last live and then the weekend will start. Hi there, Janie from Louisiana. So that means good morning, I guess. And Sana is there. Yay. So everything's working. That's a good thing. Well, to be honest, I was not looking too much forward to getting all my projects out. And I have, it's quite messy here on the table with all the projects out. But once I started getting everything ready, now I'm happy that I did, because it's nice to see all the projects again and to just have them in your hands and see if they still spark some joy to talk with Marie Kondo's words. So that was lovely to do, and now I have everything on the table. I also get excited to start working on them again. Hi there, Carolee, and Patty is here. Hi there, and Liz. Lovely, everyone, that you're here. So the plan for today is to go through the projects and chat about them and show you the new tracker, because this one is the new tracker for Tackle That WIP in 2024, and that one is available on the blog right now, or on the Tackle That WIP website, sugardoo.com/whips, and then you find a new tracker. So I had some input from Sana. She said what I already was doing as well on my old tracker, that when you are working on something, I would cross it off halfway. And she said, very good point, that the piecing part always takes the longest, or most of the time takes the longest. So we now divided the piecing part into 4 sections so that you can already color in if you started, and you can put in the starting date or year and the finish date of year, so you have a better overview of how long your projects take you to finish. And I'm pretty pleased with it. I think I can almost fit all the projects on here. I thought everything would fit easily, but then I already added 2 new projects to the list, and now with taking everything out, I noticed that some of them are missing on here. Hi, Karine and Rebecca. Hi there. Thank you for joining in. So what I did was I printed out my tracker and I transferred all the projects from my old tracker that were not finished yet. I transferred them to the new one. So that made me all ready for the new year. So let's see how we do this today. I think I'll just go through from most finished state to least finished state and show you what I have going on. So the most finished state is a few projects that are done. And I'm not sure if I've already showed you this one, but that is the mini Follow Me arrow quilt, and that one has a binding now, a lovely red, white striped binding and some match quilting. So that is a lovely finish. And another finish that I did in December, and some more people also did in December, is the Advent pillow. So this was the Advent calendar for Sugary Doo for 2023, and we made a lovely pillow. And it was such a fun project to do with all of you. It included some hand stitching and some applique and foundation paper piecing. It was just a lovely project, and I'm already looking forward to designing the project for Advent for 2024, because this was such a success that we are going to do this again next year. And the pre-orders for that will go live in June, so pretty early, so everybody will have a chance to order one. Something else that I made in the last quarter was, well, my fabric line that was released or announced in the last quarter, but also this one. This little fellow is Phil, and I made him some friends. So we have Charlie over here, and we have Sana. So 3 friends for Phil. Well, Phil and his friends, 3 in total, and those will all be available as patterns on my website soon. Well, they are as pre-order now on the site, but these ones, they are so fun to make. So happy finishes. They didn't even make it to the project tracker list because I needed to finish them quickly. So yeah, fun little projects to make. And one other thing that I would love to show you from the new fabric line is, well, of course, there are quite a lot of quilts from the new fabric line, but one finish that I would love to show you is this one. This one contains all the fabrics from the Robo Boogie fabric line, and it has, well, with this, I can do a fun announcement, and it is kind of a early announcement, but I thought it would be a good idea to tell you because the pre-order for this kit is going to start January the 22nd. So end of January, the pre-order for this will start. And this is going to be a quilt along with Bernina in the next year. Yeah, so it's kind of a pre announcement. We already showed this in Houston to quilt shops. So it is a row by row quilt along, and it contains all the happy colored fabrics from the Robo Boogie line. And I am so much looking forward to this quilt along. It's going to be awesome. So because I needed to order all the fabrics already, the fabrics are going to be in the shops during February, March, and this quilt along will start somewhere around May or June. So it's pretty early, but I thought I will do a pre-order with only 150 kits. So you can order your kit at a local fabric store, of course, but I also wanted to offer some of the kits. So yeah, this is a very, very fun project that I'm super excited about, and a finish of the last quarter of 2023. Yeah, so let's put this one aside and move over to the projects that are still WIPs. Frauke joins in from Munich, and she finished. Oh, you finished the pillow for the Advent project. That is lovely. That's lovely. And another comment from Rebecca. Oh, you just printed the first quilt along. That is lovely. Well, that is this one. That's a fun coincidence. I finished the quilting on this quilt, so this is the first quilt along, and as you can see, it's quite a bit bigger than the new quilt along that I just showed you. So the new quilt along is more manageable to make, and this one is a bit bigger. And this one is now in the state that it needs a binding, and then it's done. So all the quilting on this is done, but it still needs a binding to be a complete finish. A nice and big quilt. So that needs a binding. And I think that's the only one in the needs a binding phase. Yeah. So the next phase would be needs quilting. And I have 2 of the 1, 2, 3 quilt along quilts that needs quilting. Let me see. Here's the needs quilting pile. So I have 2 of these that need quilting. And I am going to save these to quilt to use as practice quilts. Because another fun announcement is that I have something over there. I think I can show you already. So what is here in the studio? Do you recognize what that is? It's a long arm. Yes, it is. And I am completely new to long arming and need to figure out how it works and practice a lot. So I am going to use these 1, 2, 3 quilt long tops as practice quilts for the long arm. A lot more on the long arm is coming in February on my YouTube channel and on the Bernina blog. A new fun quilting adventure, but these ones are kind of halfway quilted, and I will finish the quilting on the long arm. Let's see, what else do we have here that needs quilting? Something new that needs quilting. Let me put this up a little bit. Rebecca says so exciting. Yes, it's super exciting. So many new things are happening all at once. Very exciting. But so the newest addition to the needs quilting pile is this quilt. This is a block of the month project. Super colorful and happy. And this is a quilt we made with the Dutch Modern Quilt Guild. We'll put it sideways so it kind of fits in the frame. Yeah, so a lot of color and a lot of different blocks. So the most difficult thing about this one is figuring out how I'm going to quilt it. But it was a lovely project to make, a super fun quilt top to put together. So that one is also on the needs quilting pile. Something else that I made in Houston is this one. We followed a class and we made this bird, and all those colors are all tiny pieces of fabric that we put together and learned a lot about color and intensity and light and dark. So a fun one. But this is Gade with what's it called? The not soft and stable. It was let me check. Steam machine. That was the word. So sorry. Sanne, thanks. Steam machine. Yes. So this is done with steam machine, but that means that you have to sew over it. Well, it is pretty steady in place, but you can sew over it to secure it. So that I will do while quilting. And another project that is the same is this one. This is with a new fabric line by Sassafras Lane. And this is also applique, the little cactus. So that also needs quilting, and then that one is done. So quite a lot to quilt, but those smaller ones are perfect for the Q16. So that is a sit-down quilting machine, and those smaller projects are really fun to do on the Q16. Yep. So let's see what else is there. Oh, Lisa also has to quilt the first quilt along. It's quite a big one to quilt. Yeah, so I guess those are the need quilting quilts. And then we have also quite a lot of projects in the sewing phase. So I have 2 projects that won't be finished anytime soon. One of those is the monk's blocks. So I have quite a pile already with blocks, and I have a lot of green ones in the box as well. Yeah, so a lot of monk's blocks. I will just make them every now and then, but there's no rush on that project, and it's going to get as big as it will get, and I will just continue sewing on that one for as long as I still find it fun to sew on that. And then the other projects that will go on for a while is a round robin that I'm doing with my mom. And the one that I have over here, this one, I now have to add something to it. And this is the block that, or the quilt that I started with. I started with this block, and then my mom added this one, then I added fishes, and she added this one. So yeah, we both add blocks and pieces to it. Not too strict of guidelines of how big or what we need to add, so it's also not a border every time, but just a fun project that we have going on, and we'll probably be going with this for quite a while. And there is one more in that category, that is this one. So last year I joined in with the summer loving sea glass sew along. The summer loving sea glass going on by Midnight Quilter and Exhausted Octopus from Instagram. Maybe you also follow them. And well, we started that in the summer, and the idea was that you use a tracker to track activities or habits or things that made you happy over the summer, and then you would cut out pieces of sea glass shapes, and those you would applicate in a quilt. So I already have quite a lot of pieces, but when I started this, I thought I would make quite a big quilt out of this. I don't have enough pieces to do a big quilt, but I would love to start again and use the tracker again. So maybe sometime soon I will start using a tracker again and track some of the habits, and then cut out some more pieces. I have everything color organized in here, all the pieces that I want for my quilts. So you have categories, and when you do something from a category, you pick or you cut a little sea glass piece from that color group. So a fun project, but this also don't know when to finish, but we'll finish it at some time. Yeah, then something that I have over here is my Tula pink quilt. And for this quilt, I'm making blocks from my Let's Play pattern. And it looks kind of chaotic, and I guess that's the way it is. It wasn't a very well thought out plan, but I bought this as a fabric bundle because I loved the colors and it really made me happy. There were a lot of big prints in there, like Tula fabric is, and that was kind of new-ish for me because I mostly work with small prints and blenders. So I thought this block could showcase all those fabrics very well. So it's very fun to make, and I just want to finish these blocks over here and then one row below, and then it will be done. And I think this one will be very fun to quilt with rulers and to play with the quilting on that. And I have put it out because I decided that every quarter or every month or until it is finished, I'm going to pick a priority quilt and just store all the other quilts away. That's also what I did with the block of the month quilt, and it worked pretty well. So before, I would just have my old list of WIPs and thinking, oh, what I'm going to do work on today, and then when I would have time for quilting, I would pick up the project and then see, well, what am I going to do now? What's the next step? And that meant that when I would only have a short time, like say half an hour to do something, that I wouldn't really start on something. So with the block of the month quilt, I would just have it on my design wall and the fabrics would be in a box out here on my table. That made it super easy and convenient to do a little bit of sewing. So I decided this is the next priority quilt, and I will have it out here until the quilt top is done. So every time I have time to do some sewing, I can sew one or a few blocks of this one. So yeah, that worked well for the bum quilt, and I'm hoping that it will work out for this one as well. So maybe that's something you can do as well when you have filled in your project tracker, that you decide what are the top priority quilts for this month, or what is the order in which I want to finish them, so that you will have 2 or 3 stages. One that needs binding, so if you feel like cutting binding, that you know which quilt you're going to do and what fabric, and that you have one ready for quilting, so when you want to quilt or when you do hand quilting, that you have that project ready with its materials to grab and go. And one for piecing, so that you when you have 15 minutes or half an hour for piecing, that you know what you're going to do, which fabrics, what pattern, and that will set you up for some productive sewing time. So yeah, maybe that works for you as well. So that is in piecing, and I have one other project that is in kind of the same stage. So after this one, I'm going to do that one. And that is this one. This is my farm animal quilt by Elizabeth Hartman. And I have already a few blocks, but this is a huge quilt. So I didn't really know what I was getting into when I started. Oh, I forgot I had this. So I marked off the animals that I already finished. So that looks kind of like halfway, I think. Would you say so? Yeah, I think kind of halfway with the animals. And this one is quite some work for cutting. It is regular piecing, so you need to measure and cut a lot of pieces, and then you sew them together in blocks. So yeah, once this one is done, I will start working on that one again. But until then, I'm not going to leave that inside. I'm just going to store it away. It is on my list, so I won't forget about it, but I don't want the visual reminder of all the projects so in my face, because that only creates chaos. So one project out here is enough, and this one can stay safely stored away. But there are already a lot of fun blocks in this one. This is a little goat. Made it in a few colors. So every animal you will make in a few colors. Or you could make them, every animal, in the same color. That would be so much easier for cutting. Because now every time I make an animal, I have to cut it, all the pieces in the different colors. But I hope this kind of color gradient will work on the quilt. And there we have the horses with a little kind of strawberry on top, and a red horse, why not, and a blue one. Well, a lot of blocks made. Very fun quilt to work on. Okay, let's see. What else then do we have on the list? This one we did. That one we did. Ooh, then I think we're almost there. I have one here that is also in the needs quilting phase. This one was an experimental mini quilt that I once made, and size-wise it could go for a baby blanket for droomdekentjes, dream blankets, and then that's a organization that makes quilts for sick babies, children in the hospital, and their brothers and sisters. So this could go for a baby blanket, and I thought it would make it a little bit more baby-ish if I would back it with something like this. So I learned that I need flannel to back it, to use as backing. And I have this still from quilt marketing used, not from last year, but the year before. And I think it would make it a little bit more baby-ish. So I'm thinking about finishing it with this. So that is together in the closet. So once that gets priority, I'm going to finish that as well. And then what else do we have? One project that is not on the list yet, but I do want to finish. I'm probably going to finish and launch a pattern for this summer. That is the arrow quilt. So I already showed you the mini of that, but with my test team, we also made all these blocks, and that is a lovely rainbow-ish quilt with those same arrows. And these have been waiting already for quite a long time to be put together. And I still have to work out the pattern, and well, we'll probably release the pattern this summer with the second when the second Shiridu fabric line will be announced. Yeah, so but this one should also be on my WIP list. So sip of tea, and then let's see if we have everything. If there's something happening in the chat. Let me see, do we have everything on the list? It's quite a lot of projects. But yeah, my approach for this year is to really work on it one project at a time. So no more than one project for each state of the quilt making process out on a table, so that I have a focus. That when I know I want to quilt something on the Q16, that I have one quilt over there and I know what I'm going to quilt on it. Yeah, so probably, hopefully that will make things easier. And I'm curious if you have something that worked really well for you with your WIPs in the last year. Please do put it in the comments. I would love to read what you tried and what worked for you. I think we are kind of there. So the first Benina quilt along and the other quilt alongs. Tula pink quilt, that's over here. One more quilt I have on here, and that we just started. That is the Happy Notes sampler. So the Happy Notes quilt, this one, we just started with a quilt along for this quilt. And I made the first block for that, already running a little bit behind, but catching up now in the second. Well, we did 2 live videos for that. So from the second live video, I'm now catching up. And I'm going to make it with the very light gray as a background fabric. And I am making the smaller sampler. So this is the big Happy Notes sampler. And this one is going to be the smaller sampler. So yeah, a fun project also to work on. But that will be there for oops. So that will be there, I guess, for the next year. There we will be working on that one before it's completely finished and quilted. Someone says having bees helps. Yeah, that also helps. Yes, that does. Getting together and making a plan of what you want to do during the bee. Yeah, so that is, I guess, also setting aside dedicated time to sew. I also was super productive during our quilting retreat that I organize once a year with my mom and quilting friends. We have just one weekend, Friday morning to Sunday evening, to just sew and sew and sew and sew. And it's a super productive weekend and super fun to see what everybody is working on. So that's fun. Yeah, I think those were all my projects. And I just put up the blog post on my website. So when you go to sugardo.com/blog, then you will find the latest blog post, and there is a possibility to check in. So if you leave your thoughts about your WIPs or your progress, or you don't have to have finished anything, but just give an update on your WIPs in the comments there, then next Friday I will pick a winner and send a little surprise package to one of you from the studio here. Yeah, so for this year, for Tackle That WIP, so last year I sent out an email almost every month about Tackle That WIPs with some tips about WIPs and some updates. And I would love to continue with that in the new year, but I'm going to incorporate it in my monthly or in my weekly newsletter. So every month, one of my newsletters will be themed around the Tackle That WIP, and we will do a WIP update and share some of your progress if you'd like to, and share the blog post and the recaps of this video. Well, that will all be in that newsletter. So if you are subscribed to my general Sugar Do newsletter, Happy Notes, then you will see that in your inbox. Jeannie says, love your design. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's a big a railing that we have. So a rail on top of there, and kind of a rolling system with a wood frame, and over that I put some batting and a styrofoam layer so that you can also put in pins. It's wonderful. It's really nice. Yeah, and it makes it convenient. But if you don't have a big space at home, or if you don't have a possibility to build a whole design wall, you can also just tape a piece of batting to your wall so that you can put your blocks on there, because fabric will kind of stick to batting without using pins. So if you want a temporary design wall, or even maybe a design door that you tape batting to a door, then you do have a space to put up your blocks, because having the Tula pink quilt out on my design wall also works as a visual reminder that that is what I want to finish and that is what I want to work on. Okay, I think I have talked a lot and enough about all the WIPs. Yeah, so thank you for being here and joining in. And I hope you also get excited about your WIPs again when you fill in the new tracker. You can download this for free online on my website. And when you fill it in, you get an overview of all your WIPs and maybe also some excitement with that to start working on them again. So thanks so much for being here. Have a lovely weekend, and I will see you again soon. Bye.